Good morning. Feels like the right time to review our first week together as we explore the essence of the OASIS experience as the foundation of our process, building a new earth, which is fully aligned with the evolution of our consciousness as a species, as individuals, and especially in this time where the world is clearly going through a major transformation. Many people are cocooning, waiting, which is important. I've mentioned the idea of incubation in our process of the expression of genius and creativity, preparation, incubation, illumination, and expression. So those of you who are incubating, collectively, incubating, waiting for the illumination, right? Being in that sweet place of surrender, the divine feminine guiding us through the dark, through the quiet, through this process of cocooning, incubation, remembering the truth in the line, it's only infinite patience that yields immediate results. That those of us that have the capacity to walk with 1 foot in eternity, 1 foot in the world of space-time, from the perspective of eternity, of course, all of this is already complete. All of this has already happened. The full flowering of our third phase of evolution as a species, Homo glimiulus, it's already happened in some of us. I'm one representative of that new species, but it will happen in more and more. And there's the call for the 1,000 points of light, those of us who would step forward in leadership to offer support and guidance to others who have the capacity to listen, to grow, to evolve, to change. We're clearly becoming another form of human being, not a mistake that we hear from the one aspect of this process, the word transhumanism, that we are becoming more than human, at least more than Homo erectus, the tribal mind, more than Homo sapien, the egoic mind. We're becoming more, Homo glimiulus or Homo spiritus. Okay, so there's a great line that the very end, the benediction at the end of A Course in Miracles, where the teacher speaks to us individually, those that have ears to hear, those that are willing to serve as this conduit, as this portal between heaven and earth. The line says, "Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there." Okay. Through you is ushered in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there. Okay, so this is reference to eternity that's using us as its portal, so we might usher in aspects of eternity that would bring humanity out of the gloom, out of the darkness, out of the fear and this part of the necessary cocooning as we move from caterpillar to butterfly. It's a very frightening experience for many. And, again, our role, those of us that have the willingness to follow, to answer the call, we shine this light in the darkness that those who can see it, those that are willing to turn away from the darkness, the fear. It's like Plato's cave. The metaphor is that those in the cave, those that have the limited consciousness, all they're seeing in the cave are the flickering lights of the fire, creating shadows on the walls of the cave. And so the whole world is this shadow world that is very, very frightening. So one who is able to exit the cave and be out in the light of day, he or she might try to relate to those in the cave about this light. And many in the cave won't believe it. They'll think we're making something up. They're more accustomed to the gloom. So it's very important that those of us that are willing to step forward and shine the light, to usher in a world unseen, unheard, yet truly there, that we have the faith, that we have the devotion, dedication, perseverance to do this, to give this gift, even though it might not be well received by the vast majority of those who sit in the darkness. Very important that we have each other, that we find ways to be in community with each other. Very important that we reach out to each other, that we seek out, again, those that have the capacity to represent this new earth. I've talked so much about, the aspect, that we have a body and we have a person that were developed as communication devices for our higher function, but it's the energy body that actually serves as the mechanism for this higher energetic function. Our energy body, which is not our body or our person. Our energy body is more what some might have called in the past our soul. It is eternal. It's not limited by space and time at all. So we have the ability to develop a relationship with this energy body, and thereby a relationship with eternity, with reality, with heaven, that which is beyond the limitations of the space-time world. Our relationship with that, with God, the unmanifested, our relationship with that energetic principle is that which we then carry into our space-time world to share with our brothers and sisters, to keep reminding them that this is true, reality is true, and that the illusion, the dream, is simply that. It's an aspect, a small aspect of reality, but definitely does not represent reality in its fullness. So, again, we are called to represent that reality in its fullness and bring acceptance, appreciation, and enthusiasm. So these are the aspects that Eckhart Tolle referred to as the fundamental states of consciousness in a new earth. Acceptance as the minimum, appreciation as the median, and enthusiasm as the inspired, fully energized state of being in this new earth. Okay. This is very well laid out, the whole process of this evolution that I spoke of, that was about a 50-year process from the time that the first seeds were being sown in the late 1960s, early 1970s. And this process now, since 1972, for the past 50 years, bringing us to 2022, where the full flowering begins. And again, as this flowering accelerates, what will accelerate it is an acceleration of the dissolution of the old form, the old structures. Okay, and the process of the dissolution of the old structures will appear very dark, very negative, very frightening. So it is very important that before we enter this period, we're already in it, but it will only accelerate this year and next. And it's very, very important that we hang together in a very powerful way, that we don't get consumed by this process of dissolution. Okay, so as Eckhart Tolle talked about, as far as death, there's a way that we can die to the world without hurting our body, without enduring physical death. Many people will not have that capacity, and so their way forward will be to drop their bodies, and of course, coming back, reincarnating, as my sister did, now as my daughter Amelie. That people will, that will be the best way they can participate in a new earth, is to drop their body, to leave this physical plane and then return. But for some of us, we can ride the storm. For some of us, we will be here through this very intense, very exciting process. I mean, literally, the world will see things it's never seen before. And seeing it in a new way because of our ability to communicate. There's been many great trials and tribulations in the world in the past, but never in a time when we have a global perspective because of the internet, because of our ability as Homo sapiens. The highest achievement we made as Homo sapiens was developing this means of immediate, instant communication without limitations, without cost, so that what is coming could come globally, immediately. This download that I'm assuming will come sometime, maybe in 2022 or shortly thereafter. There'll be a certain point where the download, basically what I'm sharing here with you on a very, very small scale, will happen on a very, very large scale. And so the world at once will receive this information, this download, this ray of light, this what I called in one of my books, the third pulse. There'll be this energetic pulse that washes over the whole world, and that completes the shift. And then the actual work is the rebuilding of the world with new structures in place that will take the place of the old structures that are clearly no longer serving our species or our mother, our earth. So again, a very exciting time. Again, I've talked a lot in my classes in the past. You can go back to some of my earlier talks that are all recorded here on YouTube to look at an overview of this 50-year process. Process of transformation that began in 1967, more or less came to completion in 2017. This was the preparation, and now we're moving into this process of incubation, waiting for the illumination, which again, like I say, is very real. It's something that I fully understand, that I fully have experienced. And this is what, again, I call the OASIS experience. This will be that download where those that have the ability to open themselves to receive this illumination will fully understand what a new earth is, will fully understand what our function now as humans, Homo globulus, Homo spiritus, understand what it is and understand the way in which individually we open to this possibility. Again, remember the foundation of a new earth is the understanding of what our energetic function is.